Welcome back to the Nick and Toe podcast. And this is the intro, so Jake is not talking.
We ended it with the clap and immediately started it, which we normally take a couple minutes in between.
Yeah, episode 37, we think. We're pretty sure.
Pretty positive.
Pretty
you
sure it's
said
37.
this like you knew in the beginning.
Yeah, because I didn't want to act like I didn't know. But now it's the beginning, and this is episode 37.
Hold on. I don't have my phone.
I have it. I'll check. You introduce our guest.
Yeah, our guest today is Jake Queen. It's a good friend of ours. He is God damn it, it's like a personal trainer, and just a really, honestly, a stellar dude. It took me. I was so stuck on that. Stellar dude, just because we went from friends to not friends to being like really close again, and it's just really nice, and I enjoyed a lot, and we're learning a lot about each other and from each other, and you hear a little bit about that in the podcast, but it's just beneficial having him around, and it's nice.
Yeah, and the prioritization of this one is health and fitness. So
yes.
If you are
like I
insecure
said,
about where you're at,
so
yeah, if you're insecure about where you're at, then don't listen because you'll feel attacked.
Yes.
For the best reasons.
And he gives a disclaimer at the end, but I might as well just in the beginning to save face. He talks a lot about his views, his personal and his professional opinions on things, but at the very end, he says, that's just his thoughts on it. He's not saying he's right about everything, but just want to give that disclaimer before you hear it and
be healthy.
And quit halfway through and you're like, how dare he say things and think he knows everything when he doesn't. It's just,
people do that. Fuck them.
If you listen to this, go fuck yourself.
Sure. But yeah, so this is episode 37 with Jay Queen.
And
we're going to start the episode now.
Yes!
Welcome to the Nick and Tub
podcast. That was good.
Yep.
Again, solid. Always fucking stoked on it.
I want that fucking dumb podcast. I like it. It's fucking good shit.
That was so good. Dude, this is the best fucking thing we've ever done.
Yeah. Clap above the head on 3. So 1, 2, 3. That's good.
Everybody gets it. Everybody gets it. Who didn't?
You got retards on the podcast?
Oh my god! I was gonna say we got probably one of
by
the
retards.
one of the sketchiest people on our podcast today, and that Jake doesn't hold back ever. And you know what? I don't care as long as you do not drop
asterisk.
Listen, I know what I can and cannot say.
Okay, good.
Because people take humor out of context.
Yes,
so
very
I'm going to
true.
leave it reserved.
Especially because there's no
For the
body
most part.
language, there's no facial expressions,
Right.
And sometimes, like, I'll realize with myself that my voice doesn't come through correctly. People are like, "Wow, you said that like such an asshole." Like, I didn't mean to.
It's just dry humor. People don't understand dry humor.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Or
So-
cryptic humor for that matter.
And we know the word or words that Nick doesn't want us to drop, so we'll tread carefully and start with the topic of Quentin Tarantino movies.
My favorite.
I still haven't seen what's a Hollywood one?
Once Upon a Time in
Yes.
Hollywood.
I haven't seen
I
it.
haven't seen it either. We
Oh,
should go on a
it's
date.
so good.
I'm down to go see it together.
Romantically.
Romantically. Yeah, that movie is really fucking good. It's really quotable. Like
Yeah.
as soon as you see it with buddies after, you'll quote it all the fucking time. It's really good.
I've heard I don't think I've heard one bad thing about it other than the sensitive people that don't like his movies because it's Quentin Tarantino. But
Oh yeah, I mean, if you could have gone in that movie and not known it was Quentin Tarantino until like the last scene of the movie.
That's usually how
of
some
course.
of his movies go.
Yeah.
Most of his recent ones.
Yeah,
Except Django Unchained.
and
That one was pretty crazy.
Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hateful Eight was a slow one.
I heard it was slow
but was it good?
It was all right.
It's kind of
because it wasn't all shot in like the same cabin.
Pretty much.
Everything's
yeah.
like in one fucking room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no.
it's like you really limit yourself with that.
Yeah, but
But-
I mean, at the same time, if you can pull it off,
Oh.
It shows what you can actually do.
Yeah,
And he's a
definitely.
great director and writer.
After this movie, Once Upon a Time, I became a much bigger fan of him. Like I realized I really liked Django. I really liked Inglourious Bastards, and then this movie was like just another one that I like added to my collection. And so after seeing it, I was like, all right, I'm officially like a big fan of this dude, especially just because like he avoided like his typical like violence for I'd say like 90% of the movie, and just off of like film composition and like the creative shots he took and like cutscenes he's thrown in there, like it is just a fucking great film, not alone just like enjoyable gore or fucking raunchiness.
I'm looking forward to his Star Trek film.
Yeah.
Oh wait, he's doing that one?
Yep, it's going to be rated R.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, so
I didn't know if it was confirmed or not. I just knew that he really wanted to do Star Trek.
Yeah. It's
how many more movies does he have until he's done? Isn't it like one or two?
He's got like one or two, I think he said. But you never like people say shit and then they
Quote,
come back and
air quote done.
Well,
Dylan suspects that he'll continue.
I believe I read something, and I don't want to like misquote this, but from what I read, he was in an interview and said that he doesn't want to make any more movies after the limit that he put himself on, because he doesn't want to basically water down all the other stuff that
Like
he's
taint
done.
his legacy or
exactly. Essentially, that's it.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure everyone would appreciate a Brett Favre comeback retirement from Tarantino if he decided to make one or two more.
Yeah, and that's true. But I mean, we'll see. So I am free until Saturday if you want to go like figure out time to go.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'll text you.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So fuck, it sucks because for those listening, we had a guest lined up. It was our buddy Hayden. We were really stoked to get that all set up, and he hit us up this morning and was like, I'm so sorry, but I have to cancel because somebody keyed my car from front to back all the way along the passenger side, and then he found his gas tank open as well. So if I don't even know, imagine if it was somebody that listens to this. I hope you fucking
if you're listening and you fucked up Hayden's Camaro, we will key you.
But so he had to cancel, and we were trying to find a last minute fill in. So thank you very much. But I don't want this to be your only episode kind of thing, because it was the same thing.
I don't know how I feel about this now. I should have like leave. Just kidding.
Well, the
Thank
thing
you so much for us like just scrapping someone together. Fuck.
I mean, I guess I should have told you that before telling you now, because it would have been like, hey, I just need you to fill in really quick. But regardless, you're here, and the point is that
I don't care. I like talking.
He has such a way with words.
I like the fact that we enjoy having each other around. I won't name drop her just because she asked me never to, but I went and got drinks last night with someone, and she was mentioning, she's like, so you and Jake are good friends now? I was like, yeah, we kind of squashed all of our bullshit. It took the better part of almost 3 years?
Yeah.
Close to,
yeah.
And now it's
more so from your end, I should add.
meaning
that I try to squash it first. And
oh yeah, 100%. I mean, you can definitely throw me under the bus there. I don't give a shit. Because we already talked about it once, but it was on. Do you know about? I've told you.
You've told me about it.
A few times.
I cared so less, no offense, that you had to point Jake out to me like 3 different times to remind me that this was the dude I had beef with. Because every time I was like, "Oh yeah, huh," and then like back to
like, that's the dude that keeps kissing me.
Jake has kissed so many of my friends.
Have we mentioned
me.
this on the podcast before?
No, we haven't.
Yeah, Jake likes to kiss anybody at parties that is willing to kiss him.
Real quick, let me throw this out here. I like to kiss anybody that's anybody, but more so that they're guys. And then let me explain why.
I love this.
Because it pushes the expectation of what people expect, right? Yeah. So people expect when they see a man to not kiss another man.
Correct.
Like on average.
Straight because that's almost a golden rule, right, more than average.
Because if you're a straight man, it doesn't make any sense to, kiss another dude on the lips. Right. And let me be very frank here.
That's not there's no peacocking for women as the reverse.
Right. Of course.
Right. So like that's kind of ridiculous to me that like women can kiss each other on on the lips, and they're like, "Oh man, that's hot," or like, "Oh, that's all right." I'm like, why can't guys do that? And
Are you trying to change the status quo so that when guys kiss each other, it's hot?
of course, because when it happens, I will know I was the pioneer. I may never be credited, and that's okay.
It will,
I'm
it will
not in it
come
for
a
the
long
fame.
time after you've died.
Yes,
They'll
and
build a
that's okay.
statue.
But as long as I started the revolution, that's all that matters.
In like 200 years, somebody's just going to kiss a dude randomly at a party. And they'll be like, oh, God.
Wake
There
up
was
in
somebody
your
named
fucking
Jake
grave.
that started this.
It's a statue of him with like his
The
eyes
living
closed and his
legend.
lips puckered.
I won't go down in history as like a really good personal trainer or a coach. I'll go down in history as the guy who fucking changed,
Who started
the
guys
status
kissing
quo.
each other.
How fucking absurd!
You telling me Jake was your great grandfather? You mean the not gay guy?
He's like, "Oh man, kiss me," and he's like, "No." Like, what a disappointment of lineage that would be.
The
You start a
reason
revolution, but lose it within your own blood.
I know.
I think the reason why I point out every time that he and I had beef multiple times, and I do this with everybody, is because Jake and I will stop sometimes, like in the middle of a party, and just be like, "Dude, this is really fucking weird." Like, it's still just totally random because pretty sure we hated
Because
each
of
other.
how far you've come.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, because I don't want to stay on this topic too long because
Yeah, of course,
it kind of gets
we've burned it
rehashed
out,
every
yeah.
time. It's like it's one of those things. We were two like alpha males, and now that I think about this term and I relive it every time I think about it, I hate it so much. So we were two alpha males in the same vicinity, trying to piss on everything that that we liked. And that's the best metaphor I can come up with.
Oh, I
And
see it now.
there was other factors involved,
right.
like a female. I'm not going to name it.
Well, of course, that's
because
what
it's
two
all-
alpha males need to
Yeah.
get the fire lit.
And so it was just a lot of tension building, and then it became a lot of poking at each other.
All you guys needed was one nice Eiffel Tower release, and that would have.
I know. You know what? That'd be nice if we can like
You want to hit her up?
gangbang a girl. Yeah. I mean, like whoever, dude. If you,
Why can't we just call it a threesome or a tag team? But you straight up went for the gang.
Yeah, I don't think you guys meet the population requirement.
I mean, I can divide myself in two.
But point being is that it's just really nice, and we're at this point now where it was 2 days ago. He had put on his Snapchat that he was in a trunk riding around.
Yeah, I
The
saw that
same fucking day
that we
that-
put you in the trunk.
Put me in the trunk, and we were both drunk. And were you leaving the fair?
No.
Oh, okay.
we
It was
were
drunk in the
leaving.
trunk.
We were actually headed to a house party.
Okay. Well, we were leaving the fair. We were all drunk, and you were on your way to the house. It's just so fucking weird that it was. I had seen that memory at the same time, and it's just more and more things where we're just like, oh, what do we call it? Kindled spirits?
Kindred spirits.
Kindred?
Kindred, yes.
Kindred
really how you say
spirits?
it?
What kind
Yes,
of pagan
kindred.
shit is that?
Isn't it
Kindred
like
spirits are people that have like a lot of things in common.
Is it kindred or kindred?
Yeah, it's kindred, I'm pretty sure.
hold on.
Kindred Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar.
That fucking laugh you put out.
Oh yeah, no, it's kindred. You're right.
Yep.
Weird. Why is it? You think it's kindred? Anyway,
I'm
but
familiar with academia, Nick.
I am not, Jake. So do you want to? Yeah, dude. I just want to talk about the shit that you do, because we were just talking about how you wake up at 3 a.m.
I wake up now at 3 a.m.
Give a little intro.
Yeah.
Like if you're meeting someone for the first time. You'd be like, "Hi, I'm Jake.
Oh wow.
I kiss dudes."
Well, I'm pretty
just
sure
gonna say
if they saw me, they'd be like, "I already know what he does."
Librarian.
But I'm a much deeper, multi-layered individual.
Like
no.
ogres.
Ogres, lairs. I'm bad at that accent. I haven't perfected that one. So yeah, no, I like to call myself a personal trainer and a life coach. Life coach kind of second, because I haven't really fully dove into that field full time yet.
Yeah.
But I am a personal trainer. Before anything else. And if I were to like kind of give like my mantra, like to anything, is like, I want to build people. Like I want the average person to not feel so average about themselves.
Right.
everyone has the right to feel and express their bodies in a way that they can confidently come out and say, hey, look, this is who I am. This is me. There are people that are so reserved and shy because of the way they look. And I used to be that way. And it's almost, it's very sad to watch. And so that's what I really want to flesh out. I'm not trying to train a person to be the strongest person in the world or, to compete. That's what I would like to do that. I want to meet somebody that's willing to, compete in a powerlifting competition and be, competitive powerlifter. That's one of my main goals.
Yeah.
But on average, like my goal is to just get the average woman or male to be the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what I do. And I teach kids PE.
Yeah.
And I go to school to become a teacher. So.
And you have a podcast yourself.
And I have a podcast myself. Shameless plug, Alpha Beta Kappa podcast. Go check it out. We just got done recording episode 10.
It's actually, the more I listen to it, because like all things creative, everything starts off rough. Like it just slowly, episode 0 that we never released it wasn't bad, but
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was professional gold.
It was.
Go on anyway.
No, but it was
kidding.
good. But like official episode number 1 was better. And that's what I'm saying is like you start off and it can be rocky or it can like be decent, but it gradually gets better.
You always have room for improvement.
Right. And same with your guys is like the first episode was, introduction.
Yeah.
Second episode was kind of getting used to what you're doing. By the fucking third or fourth episode, you guys knew where you were going, what you were going to talk about, stuff like that. What I really fucking dig about your guys' podcast, and it's something like I actually, one of the main reasons I listen is to check back in, is your guys' goal
goals?
setting.
Yeah. That shit is dope.
Fucking cool, dude. Like it would have never been something I would have thought about doing. Like, did you just come up with that on the fly, or were you guys just hanging out one day?
So what happened is we had recorded. I think we knew that from the get go, because what happened is when we started the podcast, we were like, okay, we need something that sets us apart, but still translates who we are. And we love everything that we do that's involving our craft and bettering ourselves. And so what can we do to flesh that out on the podcast? And, we came to the conclusion of, we'll just do goals. And, we'll say a goal. And then on the next podcast, we'll say if we did it or not. And we're going to be honest. Because why would we lie? Because we don't care about the bragging rights. Well, who cares if someone thinks that I'm cool enough that I don't know. I set up my morning rituals and morning and evening rituals. I don't care about that. The goal of our goals is not only for us to push ourselves to become better human beings and individuals, but is also to inspire others to make goals for themselves.
Right.
Because when you hear somebody that you can relate with, someone that's just an everyday person, and they're making goals, and then they're succeeding and even failing, they resonate with that.
Right.
And that's the big thing. I want people to resonate with what we're doing and what we're saying. And the goals is a big thing. So that's what we were kind of honing in on.
Yeah. I dig it a lot because it not only brings me back to constantly check in on you guys and if you're actually setting goals and achieving them, but it kind of, I don't know, have you had anybody reach out to you guys and say that they started setting goals themselves?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
We've had 3 or 4.
Oh shit. That's dope.
Yeah. It's a rewarding experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely has like a level of almost like fulfillment within yourself, just knowing that you like kind of diverted somebody's path a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm still, I think I'm on 7 or 8, so I'm a little behind, but yeah, it's good stuff. So
yeah, thank you. I appreciate
if anybody
it.
is interested, definitely go check that out. We'll probably drop it again at the end.
Cool.
To get back to you and your personal training. Okay, one thing I do want to ask, just because personally with me, I don't like the term life coach.
Yes. A lot of people don't.
Right. Is your food here?
I don't like it either. It's about to be.
Oh, okay. Life coach is so, I don't know.
It's hippy dippy.
It sounds like said person's life is better than yours, therefore like
So-
they can coach you to improve your life, and it's a weird thing to look at because it almost sets up this idea that like you question someone's authority on their craft, if you would call it that, with being a life coach. If you see they have problems in their lives, then it's like, why are you telling me how to run my life if your life has blank, blank, blank?
Right.
So let me counteract that point real quick.
No, perfect. I'm not married to
people
it.
go to counseling, right? People go to therapy.
Correct.
Why is someone's opinion on how you should revolve, your say and how you live your life based on their advice? All they're giving you is advice, right?
Yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, go to therapy, go to counseling, whatever you need. I'm not saying me as a life coach is better than a therapist or counselor. Those are completely different realms. But that's the point I'm making is why does a therapist or a counselor think that their life is, levels above the person that they're counseling? In reality, it's not.
I figured that was just their education coming into it.
So education, so I can go on a huge tangent about education. So education gives you the knowledge of basic ideas that other people have created.
You can go ahead.
There's your food.
We'll come back to the education thing. He had ordered Postmates because dude didn't eat, I guess, before. Oh, yeah, because he had a crazy-ass day. That makes more sense.
Yep, he's got to wake up at 3 a.m. I got to wake up at 4 a.m.
It's gross.
Yeah,
You still doing your runs?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's that. My Spanish and meditating kind of fell off, but that I pick up when I can. I can't stick to it when I'm tired,
Right.
Because if I'm sleep deprived, I start falling asleep and I can't use my focus.
Yeah, of course.
So it's easier here to give you an idea. It's easier to run sleep deprived than it is to meditate sleep deprived.
Right, because you fall asleep.
Yeah, it's way easier that way.
Yeah.
And Spanish is Spanish.
Spanish is Spanish. We're going to be doing our first mukbang.
Oh my God.
You know what mukbangs are?
I just realized. Yes, I know. Linda talked about it.
Listening to people eat. I don't know. I'm okay. So first of all, you can go ahead and like get a few bites in, dude. Do what you got to do. Because we're on a tangent about running. I fell out of working out again, which I'll be getting back into next week, probably starting tomorrow. Now that I don't have to work, but it's hard to like wake up, and I don't know how you do it,
Dude, I don't
know how either of you, especially you, but I don't even know how you get up and run. Like you're not doing it for, your lifestyle. Well, I guess it does apply to your lifestyle, but
Well, I'm not doing it for like a future or a career. I do it.
correct. You're doing it like the
Purely 'cause I
willpower
want
to
to.
wake up at 4 a.m., put on your running shoes, and go run out that door before you go to work at 5. You're out of your goddamn mind.
It's funny. It's actually like less willpower than it would be to like text someone back that I like just don't feel like texting at the moment.
Correct.
Or
I mean, you're benefiting
or
yourself.
just like getting out of bed to go eat. Like it's easier for me to get out of bed and go on a run at 4 a.m. than it is for me to get out of bed on a Sunday afternoon and do my laundry. Just
Right.
because like it literally happened so much as one day I was listening to enough videos on YouTube about creating habits and productivity and all things in that realm. Listening to why habits are the way they are, how they work in your brain, how long it typically actually takes to form a habit compared to what the normal rumors are that it takes. And I decided I was going to start 3 habits at once. And it was running, meditation, and learning Spanish.
yeah.
And running has probably been the easiest one. Spanish is up there. That one's pretty easy to keep up. But it's not hard to get up and do it.
Yeah.
It's so hard to do it. It's so hard to start it. But once I forced myself to do it the first few times, I didn't let myself see it as working out or running. I let it like seem as my house is hot. It's gross being in like a hot bed. And so I'm going to get out and enjoy the nice weather while summer's here. And so I went out and I like walked down my street. Like I don't get out and then just like start running. I like walk down my street. I'll do like some dynamic stretches if I'm feeling stiff. And by the time I get to the end of my street, it's like I'm outside, I'm enjoying it. It's nice out. I have my headphones in.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, like wake myself up and I start jogging. And by the time I'm done, like heart's pumping hard, I'm breathing hard and I'm feeling better. And I have way more energy in the morning than I did when I don't run. It's great.
Definitely imagine like getting to it. Once you get to it, it actually being a good time, being outside, and then you start your workout.
Yeah.
But the initial wake up,
That part.
and get out of bed.
So what my little cheat code was I did it so fast before I could even contemplate doing it. I literally like fell asleep with the clothes I knew I was going to run with. Had my socks and shoes at the edge of my bed and made sure I replied to all texts that I was going to the night before, locked my phone, went to sleep, woke up, and like as I woke up, sat up in bed. It's 4:00, 4:01, my shoes and socks are on, 4:02, I'm out the door, and didn't give myself a chance to even go, do I want to do this? It was like, I'm already outside. And doing that for like 3 days did it for me. And then from there, it was easier and easier and easier every time. And I've been doing it for a month.
Kind of makes me want to start that tomorrow.
It literally, that'll be the way you'll do it. It can't be one of those things where you like for me at least, it wasn't one of those things where I was like, okay, on this day, I'm going to start. It's going to be on a Monday and I'm going to start doing it on this Monday. And this is going to be my go day.
Yeah.
It was like, I feel like I want to do it. So I'm going to fucking do it or I'm never going to do it.
Right.
And that's what kicked it.
I'll let you know if I start it tomorrow. I know I'm working out tomorrow. I just don't know if I'm going to be waking up early tomorrow. But education. Now that you're back from eating the little bit you did.
Is that all that's staying?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Because I do want to talk about
Fuck yeah,
what
dude.
you just said.
Oh, well, then, go for it.
In bigger picture, but I do want to finish off my education thing because I feel
Definitely.
like it's an important point.
Education gives you the
Do you
knowledge.
which do you want to do first?
I'll do the education thing.
Okay.
Because so education gives you the knowledge that someone has already
Ideas that someone has already created.
someone has already lived through and created.
Yeah.
So it's just regurgitated, right? Now,
To a point.
a professor, and let me be perfectly clear. I'm not saying education is not important. What I'm saying is that I feel like people overvalue the importance of education.
Of a formal education.
A formal, when I mean, by education, I mean a 4-year university. I will, unless you're going to be a doctor, lawyer, any profession that goes into a specialty school after
That actually requires it.
actually requires education. I can make maybe an argument for a teacher, but even then, there's some teachers that gone through college and it's absolutely baffling that they're teaching. So
yeah.
formal college does not mean you know anything. People who go through college don't even retain half the information that they learn. What ends up happening is it's a piece of paper that says, hey, I suffered through all this bullshit. Now I can suffer through your bullshit that you're going to give me to train me so I can actually gain the knowledge for the thing that I actually want to do. So let's use the therapist thing real quick as a, and I'm talking a non-prescribing therapist. So not a psychiatrist.
Not a psychiatrist.
Psychiatrists prescribe medicine.
So what about a psychologist?
So a psychologist, they understand the brain and how the brain works and why people are the way they are. Through, again, theories and knowledge, the professors and the people in academia prior to them have come up with themselves. So let's use Freud, for example.
yeah.
Freud came up with his own ideas on his own. Right? He didn't adopt any other, he knew about the other stuff, the other,
Well, there wasn't much other stuff
Right.
with Freud. He was considered the father of psychology.
but there was another one. There's two more before him. but he really kind of changed the name of the game.
Yeah.
But things are like when people come up with new ideas, they adopt that new idea because it makes the most sense at that point. So when someone learns things like through psychology and they become a psychologist and a therapist or a counselor, when they first get into that, then when they first step into those shoes, they really don't know what they're really doing. They know they have a good idea based off books and texts and clinical trials and, theories and papers, right? But every person is different and how they approach it. The diagnosis may always be the same, but how they approach it,
How they apply the knowledge
and how they
they've
apply
accrued.
their knowledge is solely on them and based on them only.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not telling you to go and get diagnosed and, get treated by someone who doesn't have a degree of some sort in therapy or psychology.
Yeah, that would be dangerous.
What I'm combating is traditional four-year university versus like trade school stuff. I feel like trade school is the future of education, not the immediate future, but like far down the line.
Yeah.
Because I would rather trust someone who spent 2.5 to 3 years in a trade school who just focused on the degree at hand than someone who spent 4 years in university, spending 2 years learning things that don't have to pertain to their degree, and then another 2 years of things that they kind of like cherry pick at that's satisfy their degree to graduate. Because when you go to college, there are, you can take this class, and that class. And these units add up for you to get your degree. Okay. But when someone goes to a trade school, they learn pretty much the whole damn thing. The whole damn thing gets right in front of them and they learn almost all of it. Now, again, how much they retain, that's based on the individual. So now I'm going to circle back to the life coach thing. Life coaches have certifications pretty much in nutrition and personal training. And they also have certifications in life coaching in general. When those certifications are told you, how do you approach certain things? How do you approach someone who doesn't have the motivation to work out or to eat healthy? How do you inspire them? That's all just like, like how-tos, right?
Well,
So-
if you could lay down a definition of life coach to then refer back to for any future conversation that this podcast has, what would your best idea of that definition be?
So I would think it more of a mentor. Think of somebody. I would think of a life coach more as a mentor
And
than anything.
dealing with aspects of life, as in like social situations, personal
yes.
habits.
Yes, because it all revolves around the same thing, right? So when I mentor somebody or life coach somebody, I ask them, how's your training going? How's your nutrition going? And more than half the time, I go to the gym every now and then, and I don't track what I eat. I'm like, okay, let me expand on it and think of the bigger picture. What's going on in your life? I'm having family problems or friend problems. Excuse me, sorry. I'm having hard time sleeping. I'm not focused. I don't know what to do with my life. Things like that. Now, me as an individual, I have been through everything that I have just explained. Friend problem, family problem, lost. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't sleep. I'm unorganized.
Yep.
Right? So, when you step into the role of someone who's willing to mentor somebody else or coach somebody else, you obviously have to already be in their shoes or to relate to them.
Yeah, you have to have
Right.
some knowledge to
Correct.
fall back on, whether that be life experience or formal knowledge.
Correct. So, it's not to tell you, oh, I did it, so you can, because that's not coaching and that's not mentoring. That's just being an ass.
Mm-hmm.
So, coaching is taking everything piece by piece fixing the bigger picture, helping them, guiding them, because people need guidance. There's a few finite amount of people that can do things on their own, that like can truly do things on their own, right? So they need somebody. So what I offer is, for example, one of my clients, they're not with me anymore, and let me put this out there. My goal as a coach is to get you to the point where you do not need me anymore.
It's good.
I don't need your money. I don't want your money when we're done. If anything, I want to be the person that you invite to your wedding because we became friends.
Yeah.
You know,
You're only charging them money because it's part of your business. But if you could do it and just make it living, like, you know, if money wasn't an
right,
issue.
Exactly.
Right.
So I had this client. He was having trouble with his friends and family had friends and family issues. And so we talked about a lot of things that were going on, and this person was and I related to this person a lot, and how they latched onto people and they can't let go. And I said, look, like, you know, I've been through this as well. These are the steps that we can take in order to resolve this. But I'm going to let you know, at one point you have to give the strength to yourself to either let go or have a conversation with these people. Family and friends don't mean anything if they're getting in your way.
Right.
Because it is your life, and your life is the most important thing that you have. So these were the conversations that we had. And what ends up happening is, as those things get better, the training and the nutrition fall into place.
Of course.
Because they have the strength and the know-how, obviously, because I give them the knowledge and I help them and train them through knowledge. And hey, you got to eat this much, you're going to lose this much weight because you're taking this many calories, and this is what's happening in your body.
Yeah.
You're going to lift this, you know, weight for this many times for reps, yada yada. And you're going to put on muscle over the course of 6 months, and you're going to get, you know, theoretically this much stronger.
Yeah.
That all gets fallen into place because everything else in their life gets fallen into place. That's what coaching and mentoring is.
I think because of the stigma that's attached to life coach,
right,
and the bullshit that people have attached to it over time is what gives it its bad name. I mean, obviously you can't go and change it because it's one of those things where it's already got its title. Right. But essentially what you do is personal training while also having a friendship.
Pretty much.
That's what it is.
And so I'm really glad that you brought that up. People will be like, well, why would I pay for friendship when I already have friends? Right? That's what people would say.
Right.
And my comeback to that is, well, what are your friends doing for you currently?
Right.
Are they helping you? Have you brought it up to them? What's going on in your life? Like, what's truly going on in your life? Like, I want to be there for you, but I'm taking a piece of my life and attaching it a part of yours.
Right.
And there is close to not a danger. Danger is like a really poor choice of words. That me connecting my life to yours, that can impede me.
Right.
But
there's that possibility.
There is that possibility.
Yep.
But it is my job to make sure that it does not. And I am here to inspire you and to guide you, right?
Yeah, so I'd say it's more mentorship than friendship, but you would
right.
be what a like great friend who wants the best for you would do.
Correct.
It's just like, I definitely agree with why the idea would be like a fitness and nutrition coach and a friend, but just like over the average of what your friends do or don't do, that's nowhere near average, as
right.
in helping them, inspiring them, and changing their environment so that they can progress. That's not that common. That level of effort is not common at all in friendship.
Maybe you'd be a very fortunate individual to have
100%.
that level of commitment between friends.
Yeah,
and you're in a really good spot to begin with at that point. So And if you were a very open-minded person, and you would have, friends of very like different walks of life, but with that, not every person that you make friends with has the same level of like they don't share the same values as you do. So you can have a friend who's overweight and they're okay with that. They're happy can be. Now their life expectancy is short because they're overweight, but they don't really care because they're at the pinnacle of their happiness, and you can't change somebody who's
Content.
who's happy, who's content,
Yeah.
until they come to the realization they're like, oh crap, I'm fat.
Right.
So if you're around somebody like that and you realize that you have to lose weight, and then your friend, who is emotionally good for you but not physically good for you, will tell you, oh man, you don't need to lose weight, you're fine. That's not healthy. So where do you go? You find a mentor. You find, someone, you go to the personal trainer, you go to, your dietitian or whatever. But then that's not enough, right? Because there are those people that need more. They need that it factor. There are those people that just need that extra level of commitment to push them and guide them.
You brought up a point up that leads me to a point of somebody that's overweight and unhappy is around somebody that is overweight and happy, right?
Right.
And so they're missing they have the emotional stability, but not the emotional backup, but obviously the physical backup is not there. So you go and meet somebody that maybe is physically fit, but not emotionally there for you. So now you have two friends that are doing two separate things, and you get torn by that.
Right.
What your profession provides is the perfect mix of, I will show you how to physically get there, and I will be there for you mentally as well.
Yeah.
And then once you are well on your own, then we can just be, friends that casually just talk every once in a while. So I actually really dig that. It's a good way of looking at it.
And I tell them, look, like, because a lot of it is online,
Well, yeah, you couldn't just like drive to each one of your clients'
right, because
houses.
that'd be ludicrous. So what I tell them, I'm like, look, text me from the moment I'm up. So from 5 a.m. till 8. I hate putting a timestamp on things, but you can text me from 5 to 8, 5 to 9, whatever, every day if you need to. I'm there as as accountability.
Yeah.
Because if you're constantly texting your friend, right? Hey, I don't know if I can do this, and I don't know if I can eat this today. Your friend's like, "Fuck off, dude! I got to worry about me," and that's true, right? How would you feel if I constantly texted every day, Nick, I don't know if I can lift this today. I don't know if I can shovel down this last meal, and it's like that every time.
Yeah,
right. It's burden on you.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, bitch, this isn't my job.
Yeah, exactly.
And you would be like, it is my job.
That's what you would say. This isn't my job to, push you to do what you have to do.
Right.
And that's what my job is.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was saying, is that you are being hired to push people in the right direction, in every direction.
Right.
Not every direction, but
you hear very often where people are like, man, I just wish I could have someone in my ear at all times telling me to do the right things.
You can for a small price though.
For 4 easy payments.
And that's another thing. People get they get invested. They hear about what I have to offer, and they hear about it, and they're like, yeah, I'm so down. I'm down. Let's do it. And then I tell them what my price tag is, and they're like, oh, never mind. I'm like, what happened to that enthusiasm? Listen to me. Money comes and goes.
Right.
Your life
is a one-time
is
thing.
a one-time deal.
Yeah.
I don't care if you believe in the afterlife. I don't care if you believe in reincarnation. This life you have right now is one. One. You only get one.
Yeah.
Invest in it.
Yeah. It's people are they're afraid to invest in themselves, and I see that with all forms of really like anything from
Right.
photography to videography to
School.
personal training, getting a personal trainer, taking care of themselves, eating healthy. I mean, Jesus Christ, how many fucking people do you know that don't eat healthy because they're just like, I don't want to pay that extra bit.
Almost everybody I know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm even on that as well, but I started getting into, now I'm going to cook for myself rather than going out to eat all the time. So I wanted to take that step because I realized that what I was saying was just bullshit.
But here's another thing too, is there are people that think they are eating healthy. Eating healthy is such a broad umbrella statement,
course.
right? So, and I'm not, trying to be an asshole,
I don't
calling you
care.
out on, but just because you cook for yourself
Doesn't mean it's
doesn't
healthy.
mean you're eating healthy.
No, not
you
at
could be
all.
cooking fucking hot dogs and cheeseburgers
Yeah,
every
100%.
day, and that's not healthy.
Yeah,
but you're cooking for yourself.
soul food is made at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and that's what I'm saying is like, rather I'm taking the one little extra step from
Right.
getting fast food and spending way too much money, because that's the other thing is people will go and buy all this fast food, whether it's healthy, quote unquote, fast food. Take that same money,
Fucking exactly.
like invest it into the good food that you need to
Dude,
buy for yourself.
I cringe every time I hit a meal out where it's like $10 or higher.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
It's just like I see that bill and I'm like, motherfucker. Like
Yeah.
there's so many deals where like quote unquote expensive grocery food goes on sale, whether it be at Costco or at Vaughn's or Albertsons or whatever, where you can get like fucking like a fillet of salmon for the same price and make that 2 meals.
Right.
And it's like the only difference there is preparation.
Correct.
Right.
I mean, obviously you have the convenience factor. Everybody, that's what fast food is for.
Yeah.
It's getting the food fast. But if you really think about the amount of money that you spend on these things and the amount of fucking bullshit that it's being cooked with and the reused materials that they use and whatever fucking else is going, you don't always know every ingredient that's going into the food that you're eating.
Nope.
You can think you know, but like, fuck, dude, somebody could be,
Right.
I mean, I'm going
Somebody
way
could be
off tangent.
licking ice cream.
I
in
was
the
gonna say
fucking
somebody could be
aisles.
Yeah.
fucking sick or touching whatever. That's a completely different
Yeah.
tangent. But how you said cringing at the $10 or more meal, like I do that all the time. And then to go off into like a small tangent and bring it back. Last night I went out for a drink. One fucking drink, one beer. It was a big beer, but it was a fucking beer. Was almost $12. $12 fucking dollars with the tip.
Yeah.
I had one beer. I was like, this doesn't do anything for me. Like
Yeah.
it literally doesn't do anything. I could take that money and invest it somewhere else, but it's the convenience and it's the surroundings and it's who you're with and what you're doing and what you're going out for. But I know people that will go to music festivals and spend. I went to a music festival with this dude and he had bought 8 beers and I think 4 cocktails.
Mind boggling.
What is that, like $200?
No, a little over 100, but $100 on alcohol for 1 8-hour day. Hey, dude, what do you do? And can you like shoot some money? Because that's just fucking. How can you blow? And then another. There's so many different tangents when you go out and drink with fucking people that you know for a fact don't have money. Like what they do. Like they always complain about not having money, and then you go out and they spend all this money on, and it's just like.
If you look at their pyramid of prioritizations, the reason they can spend money on alcohol is because alcohol is towards the top of the pyramid of prioritizations.
And that's where it's just like, why can't you just find something? I don't know. I constantly think like, why can't you find a way to invest that money in yourself or in
Right.
something a little
Mindset
healthier?
and environment.
So
Yeah,
let me
no.
give you a quick example. So recently I just got done talking to somebody and we were just purely talking about personal training.
Mhm.
Nothing else. No nutrition and no life coaching. Just the training itself. Which in my eyes is easily affordable.
Mhm.
And I don't care about like talking about my prices on here because I could care
I mean,
less.
they're your prices.
So how I structure it is I do $200 a month for
Oh, I thought it was way more expensive.
That's for the life coaching.
Oh, okay.
That's the pretty penny.
Okay.
It's
$200.
It's $200 a month for 4 sessions a month.
Uh-huh.
Now, right there, I'm already giving you a stupid deal.
Yeah.
Because if you go to any commercial gym with a trainer who probably doesn't know what they're doing, it's like $75 for 30 like 2 30-hour sessions in the month.
Yeah.
That's the average.
Yeah.
2 30-hour?
2 30-hour sessions, maybe an hour, depending on
230-minute. You said 230 hours.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry.
said 2
I'm
30-hour
sorry.
sessions, and I was like,
That's
that's
a
no.
steal.
No, I'm getting.
You want to talk about a deal?
I'm getting like to the boiling point.
So
Yeah.
Two
30
minute sessions a month for $75. Some depending on the gym, sometimes it's an hour. Sometimes for $75
And you do
average. And I do 4 hour-long sessions a month.
50
At
bucks
50
an
a
hour.
pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 50 a session.
Right.
200 a month.
Yeah. So they're 150 an hour, you're 50 an hour.
Correct.
Right.
So I tell them it's 200 month to month.
That's nice.
It's 170 if we sign on for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's 150 if we sign on for 6.
That's fucking, it just keeps going. Yeah. No, that's good.
That's good.
Right?
That's
Yeah.
a good business tactic.
No, that was good. Well done.
Literally anybody can afford that.
Does that come from the class you took? Did that help?
No, that was all on that was all on me.
Nicely done.
Thank you. So that I design it in a way because right now my goal is to draw business to the gym that I work at, that I open for. So I'm actually dumbing my prices down to get more people in. That's how much I believe in this place.
Right.
So because they still have to pay the monthly membership at the gym, which is only $35 a month if they sign on as a personal training client. I'm sorry. And then so it's 35 plus whatever we agree upon
Right.
on top. So that is easily doable. People they have no idea how much they spend on stupid bullshit. If we talk about things that people you do not need fast food. You do not need alcohol. And if you do, buy a 6-pack and let that shit last you 3 weeks to a month.
Yeah.
People buy things like candy. Things like if we're talking about your health, you don't need any of that shit that I just listed.
Right.
And all that stuff easily adds up to $200.
Mouth
All right.
pleasure shit.
Exactly.
I think, Tub, you sent me your yearly expenses once.
It was
because your bank something did that
yeah,
for you?
yeah, it was yearly.
And it was the year, and you went, oh, fuck, that's how much I
Dude,
spent on fast
yeah.
food?
Spend a lot of money just
It's
on food in general.
it's eye-opening, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, like, because money management is never really in the day-to-day person's life because they have a credit card and a job. And those are the 2 factors you need in order to buy what you need in order to keep your life going. And if you don't sit down and look at your purchases, then it goes right under your nose where the fuck your money's going.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how I design it. Just the personal training, right? And this is not me complaining about people not investing in themselves because this is going to sound really mean and straightforward because I could give a fuck less
I was going to say, yeah.
if you don't invest in me or not. That's your prerogative to not care about your life. If anything, you're doing me a favor by me not investing my time into you.
Right.
So you can drop out later.
Right.
Because I don't want anybody that is not all about it.
Right.
I will not take anybody that's not into it.
That's how you get the best work.
Exactly. I will not take anybody that is, okay, let's do it. Nope. Sorry. I won't do it like that.
Right.
I'm like, you don't seem so interested. Like,
Right.
what's holding you back? I'll find out. I'll dig deep, and if it's something kind of meaningless, I'll just like, hey, don't worry about it. And then they're like, oh, okay, let's do it. But if they got a list of shit, we're not meant
If
for
they're
each
finding
other.
excuses rather than valid reasons.
Right. Because obviously it's not important because then they don't show up and then they complain that they're spending the money for shit they're not going to because it's still their fault. It's a cascading effect when trainers or nutritionists hire people that are not invested in themselves from the get-go.
Yeah.
It's because people don't see the value in their money being put into different areas. Like people could take, like, say they sign up for 6 months and they could take $150 a month, which is around, I would argue, what most people's phone bills combined with their phone payment are.
Yeah.
And they could throw that money into a fitness plan. They could spend, what is it, like $8 to $12 a month? I don't know what it is, for like a Audible subscription and read like a book a week. Even though they don't have time to read, they can listen to a book a week. You can invest money into services that give you healthy meals to your door every week for the whole week. And
Even then, I have a problem with that.
yeah, I bet. But the effort is there.
Right. You know, exactly.
And they could spend a good chunk of money and not realize the person they could turn into or the place that they'll be at in a year of doing that, and realize that they would have probably paid double what they did to get to where they're at now. And it's because they are not there yet. They can't see their after picture. It's just one frame of a before picture and a blank frame for the after. And so the value to the money is only seen in terms of right now.
Right now.
What could I spend that extra $200 that Jake's asking me to do right now? Oh, I could have a fun day in LA with my buddies. I could go to a baseball game and get beers. I could go and, fuck around and go to the club. And they're like, but then I do that and like I just work out with this dude 4 times a month, because they don't see the what is it called?
They don't see the end result.
Yeah, the end result. They don't see the value in it.
People don't. Here's the problem. People don't have vision. They're scared to have vision because they see what can happen, and when they see it, they're like, "Oh, but what if I don't do it?
Yeah.
What if I fuck up?" That is the point. You're not going to get anywhere if you don't fail once or twice. That's life.
Yeah.
Like it's ridiculous. Like, what are you going to be sheltered the rest of your life?
Yeah, it's definitely a comfort zone, like bubble thing that people live in, and I'm no exception to the rule. I'm still like learning my way through like falling in love with failure type thing, because I love like the idea of like, oh, like a perfect track record, like being able to just like look like you're a natural at something. And I have Duolingo. That's what I use to practice my Spanish. That's what one of my current projects is. And they do like progress quizzes on there. And there was one word that came up. I think it was like how to say street. And I just like could not remember how to do it. And I had this like instant, like knee jerk, overwhelming reaction to like go on Google and look it up. And then I was like, I'm not going to remember it if I do that. Like, I'm totally not going to do that. Cause like I felt like so stupid not being able to remember this one simple word. But I realized like in that moment, as I felt that temptation, I just observed the temptation itself and was like, this knee-jerk reaction is exactly what is going to prevent me from actually making really good progress. And so I just like typed a dot and hit enter and took the L on the word. Yeah. And now I have that word down. Right. Because I fucking accepted my failure rather than trying to like circumvent it.
No, that's a damn good trait to have, because when you can do that, I feel like you learn a lot more from failure, and I'm pretty sure everybody can back this. You learn more from failure than you do from succeeding. Success. Yeah.
Yeah.
You learn at least longer sustaining knowledge from failure.
Right.
Yeah. And there's multiple tangents that like we can go on, like, and one of my favorite things when people see me, they're like, oh, he's just a guy who kind of just like lifts and heavy weight and he probably doesn't know anything about nutrition. Oh boy.
I've seen your house. I've seen your fucking collection of what the fuck is that? What's the milk? You literally bought all of Costco's almond milk. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
So I think people love to overcomplicate things and get really crazy with how they eat. And there's different, like, people love belonging to a culture or a group of people that they can relate with. And what I'm really getting at here is like diets, right?
Yeah.
And whether it's keto, paleo, Atkins,
carnivore, Vegan.
Touchy subject on that one. I'll touch that one later. Anything like that.
Yeah.
People will all tell me, I lost weight on all these. And they'll tell me it's because I took out carbs, took out fats, took out protein, took out this. I took out everything else but this. Listen, motherfucker. You lost weight because you ate less. That's why you lost the weight.
Right.
And let me put out a disclaimer here. You do not need to be on those diets unless you're not the average person, right? So keto is really good for somebody who is probably like diabetic,
Yeah.
right? Because they don't have the carb, they don't have the insulin spikes. So that's a sustainable diet for them to have because they should be like not eating a bunch of like high glycemic carbs to begin with.
Right.
But I digress. I'm talking about the average person. All those diets work because they're eating less. You're in a calorie deficit, right? So, and all those diets, like you'll look on like basic guidelines on you should eat this, eat that, eat that. And what ends up happening is people eat those things and they are missing vitamins and minerals that are incredibly important. But then like, oh, wait a minute, Jake. I'll just take a multivitamin.
Right.
Okay, which one are you going to take? I want to take my keto multivitamin. Oh really? You're going to spend an extra $35 on the multivitamin when you could spend that extra $35 on better food? Because anybody who has a balanced diet doesn't need a multivitamin because you just end up pissing it out. So, what people seem to not understand is just put the fucking fork down. So my brother, and I've had this conversation with him multiple times.
You have a brother?
I have two brothers
You have two brothers?
and a sister. Yeah.
I think I know about yours. Anyway, go on.
So I have a brother. He was very overweight, and he has struggled with his weight for a long time. And I tried helping him, but he doesn't stick to it because the problem is he has a poor relationship with food, and that's what it boils down to. I had a poor relationship with food. I still do. Every now and then, I find myself binging fucking cookies like an asshole, but not as often. So, my brother took upon the keto diet. He's lost a shit ton of weight. In my professional opinion, at a dangerous alarming rate. So, what ends up happening? People talk about they had lost a bunch of weight. Good. That's good. But you more than likely also damaged your metabolism.
Right.
You are probably deficient in probably vitamins and minerals. You now have further damaged your relationship with food. And I'll use my brother as an example. I walked in on him on days that he didn't have enough time to like prepare anything that's moderately healthy. I saw him cooking fucking hot dogs and bacon. And he still, let's be clear. He lost weight on eating hot dogs and bacon and butter and fucking, MCT oil and a bunch of other shit.
Yeah.
Does hot dogs and bacon sound fucking healthy to you? Like constantly eating that every day? It's not.
Right.
But Jake, he lost weight. I don't give a fucking shit if you lost weight.
Right.
I could care less that any of you lost weight on those diets because more than likely, unless you're being monitored by a professional, you're doing it wrong.
I had a conversation with a friend, Sean. I went out to dinner with them.
The one we had on?
Huh?
The one we had on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Went out to dinner with them, and not going to go and name drop this person, but the other person we were at dinner with, they were talking about the amount of weight that they lost. And they lost it in, and we all agreed that it wasn't in a healthy rate, so it's not saying anything bad.
Right.
At a rapid pace.
It was a rapid pace. I think he had lost close to 40 or 60 pounds in like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is just that's not how
insane.
your body
That's
works.
insane, yeah.
Like that's not, if you're 400 pounds and you lose that kind of weight, I mean, that depends on if you're working out and starting to eat right. Of course, obviously you're going to shed it off a bit faster than anyone else.
Obese people lose weight much faster than, someone who's just barely overweight.
And this guy was close to 300 pounds, but you still like that. I think it was 280 or something or 290.
Yeah.
And just dropping it that fast period just isn't, it isn't good for your body.
No, not at all.
Well, yeah, I mean, fat loss does not equal, as the whole moral of this conversation right now does not equal healthy fat loss.
Correct.
It's the same thing with, I remember we were at Dylan's apartment and one of our friends came over and Danny saw them and she was like, "Oh my God, you look so good. Like you look so like thin and everything and so cute. Like what are you doing?" And she's like, "Coke."
Jesus Christ.
It's like, I mean, she lost weight doing it
Because your body still
doesn't mean
needs
it's
fat.
a good reason.
Right. And your body still needs fat, correct?
Yeah,
Like it
correct.
needs
Yes.
to eat
Oh,
off
yeah.
of something. It can't just eat off of
You
everything
can't
else.
hit like 1% body fat.
Right.
And then,
That's
like,
why
be
bodybuilders,
healthy.
when they go on stage, they're like, they could die.
Yeah.
I mean, when they're on stage, they could.
And that's why they get to that point just for the onstage moment.
Yeah. And then
they
as
turn
soon
it.
as they go, if they do it right, they're supposed to go on a reverse diet.
Correct.
But a lot of bodybuilders, they just kind of binge eat and put all the weight back on.
Right.
But what ends up happening not only is like, yeah, you lost the fat, congratulations. What's happening inside your body is probably not the best. But I feel like most importantly, what's going on in your brain, right? So anybody, unless you have a thyroid problem or any medical issue, people are overweight because they don't really have the best relationship and understanding of food. So when I was overweight, and same with my brother, snacks, cookies, shit like that, ridiculous.
The in-betweener food.
Yeah, the in-betweener foods, the snacks, this and that, is because we didn't know when to put it down, right? We just kept eating it and we were bored. I didn't know what, it was like, like you're not hungry, you're bored. But I didn't know that, so I kept eating. And so now what happens is people associate carbs and stuff is bad. It's like, oh, cookies bad. Listen, no, I don't get me wrong. I have a cookie every now and then.
Yeah.
But like I do it in moderation.
Of course.
And you can still and you'll probably like I'm not the only person who says this. Like you can still enjoy the foods you eat every now and then and still lose weight if you're vigilant enough, if you're smart enough and you have enough knowledge.
I can speak from experience on this exact topic because I tell people this all the time that aren't doing what I'm doing, and they think it's insane and they think it's something that would be so hard to do, and it's not, and that is kicking soda.
Oh, yeah.
I kicked soda years ago, like back, I think towards the end of high school. And I kicked it just because like, I think one day I just had a soda where it was like not enough of the carbonated water because it's split between the syrup and the
and you
carbonated
just,
water.
like,
And I took a
tasted the
gulp
syrup.
of it and it was just like pure syrup. And I was like, this shit is fucking disgusting. And so I was like kind of done with it. I realized and knew that it was one of like the worst things that you can put in your body. And so I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm just gonna stick to water. And people have this idea when I tell them like, oh, I don't drink soda. That I am like at this everyday uphill willpower battle of like resisting the sweet urge to drink soda.
Yeah, they think you're like a god amongst men because you don't drink soda.
Not even that. They just think that I'm suffering all the time because I'm constantly at this like inner battle to resist the urge to drink soda. And that's the whole part that everyone misses is that along with the soda goes the urge. I no longer crave soda, so I put in no willpower to say no to a soda when I'm out with friends.
Right.
I get a water every fucking time I eat out. And it's because I don't even want a soda anymore. So it's the same idea when you're telling people like, that doesn't mean you have to kick out cookies. You're like, I have a cookie every now and then. To someone who loves cookies, that sounds fucking awful. But that's because they're still craving
still
cookies
conditioned.
every day.
Yeah.
And so if you crave cookies every day and then you get no cookies at all, it's going to be hell.
Yeah.
But if you only crave cookies once every few weeks and you eat a cookie when you crave it, then you're fine. You're
Right.
chilling. And so the whole idea isn't just to kick the food or the bad intake. It's to kick the craving that comes with it. Because then it's easy. Then it's all butter after that. No pun intended.
I was going to say, would you say it's a cakewalk? But
but yeah, and that's like that is like one of my biggest like scares for people is like, they go on the diet because they removed a food group, and then because these diets are not sustainable, again, if you're an average person, when they come back and they eat it, and their brain gets lit up. I'm like, oh, I fucking missed this. Mm-hmm. And then they just go and eat again. And they put on all this weight. And they're like, oh, it didn't work. I'm like, no, you just start eating like an ass again.
Yeah.
So.
And the worst part of that is if you wane yourself off for a short period of time and then do it again, the little dopamine hit you get in your brain is stronger than normal because you waned yourself off just enough to lower your tolerance to get that like Thanos with the Infinity Stones feeling. And whereas had they just gone like double or triple the amount that they had gone, they would have been golden.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things because when I watch people do it, it's discouraging. Because then they get discouraged about health and fitness and they don't ever want to do it again. Or it takes a long time for them to get back into it because they feel betrayed about the path that they went down.
Yeah.
And in turn, and I don't really have a problem with this, it makes my job harder. But if I get to, help somebody like that, then the end result is that much better because not only did I, help them with their problems, but I gave them the knowledge. So if they, move away and I lose contact with them for some reason, and then they meet somebody in fucking Colorado that was exactly like they were, then they can teach them. And, it's the passing of knowledge.
Chain reaction.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's my big old thing. And I should touch on the topic because I'm not going to go into it like too much.
The vegan
thing.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to bring that up because you said you were going to.
So the vegan thing, people were like, I lost weight because I stopped eating meat. Again, you lost weight because you cut out a whole thing that you were consuming.
A whole food group.
A whole food group. I understand 100% if you stop eating meat for an ethical and environmental reason.
100%.
Kudos to you. 100%. I could never do it. But I'm not going to judge you, and you shouldn't, judge me for it because... in my opinion, I find meat important. The minerals and vitamins and minerals you get from it is easily accessible by eating meat. The bioavailability, your body absorbs it, is the top.
We literally evolved to eat cooked meat.
Right. And I mean, like vegans, they have to spend, a little extra money to make sure that they stay in they're not deficient in anything on supplements sometimes, or more things that they wouldn't really, go out of their way to eat. If you're willing to put up with that, awesome. Go ahead. Just make sure that you're still being healthy about it, and you're not, you're not being ignorant to what you're eating. And I find it like also so appalling is like vegans, they'll lose weight, but then they'll put the weight back on because they substituted their hunger from the meat just by putting in more like starchy carbs and things like that, like pasta and things like that.
I think vegan activists have done a very good job of synonymizing the public eye with veganism and healthy. They did a very good job of
100%
of making people think that those two terms are constantly associated with each other, when in reality, I know a lot of vegan people that are not healthy.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I know one in particular that has candy the majority of her meals. Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Hey, man, candy's vegan.
No, yeah. Literally, cookies are vegan.
Pretty sure.
Well, cookies are vegan if you make them vegan.
Yeah,
pretty
of course,
sure they're vegan.
Huh?
No, they might be vegetarian, but regardless, it's still just
same thing. But vegetarians are also regarded
the
as
point
healthy.
is like you can put a label on something, and again, at the end of the day, that doesn't necessarily mean it's healthy.
Correct.
And people
like me claiming that I eat healthy because of the things that I choose to eat doesn't mean that I'm eating healthy. It depends on how I cook it, when when I'm eating it, all those things.
I think saying that if you're eating vegan, that means you're a healthy person is the same thing as you saying I'm a healthy person because I cook my own food.
Right.
Correct.
It's the same thing. It's not what you're doing about your eating, it's what you're eating.
And that's why the statement after was, I am eating healthier than I could be.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. Not that I am
Definitely.
a healthy eater.
It's
any step in the right direction is a step
I
in the right
fucking have a
direction.
Nutella bagel every goddamn day.
you have a Nutella bagel?
Every day.
Throw that shit away.
No. You have your
No.
fucking weakness, chocolate chips.
Every day?
No. You had them every so often. I heard that part of the podcast and you gave up on it and then you were like, oh, I don't need this. I don't need it, but I'm just throughout my day I'm like, it's my one cheat.
Yeah, I know.
My one cheat of the day. I eat pretty damn good. Like I cook my eggs in the morning with my fucking toast. I try not to put too much on healthy shit. I'll have chicken and rice. I'll have good meals.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have my fucking bagel.
I mean, you're already like at a healthy body weight anyway.
correct. Like if anything, I need to gain weight.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
I
no
mean,
bullshit.
but you can gain like muscle mass. And
Yeah.
then just
I also just need to go back to the fucking gym.
I was
too.
going to say
That
exercise
too.
is just your biggest.
And
Yeah.
one of the things that I wanted to get at was how you said you hear people when they talk to you about all the. Okay, hold on. Let me restart. They have the enthusiasm when they're talking to you about joining your program and all that other stuff. I want to get healthy. I want to do better.
Yep.
And then you bring up a price tag and they go, "Oh shit."
Yep.
Do you have something to?
I'm grabbing water.
Oh, okay. And they go, "Oh shit." Trust me, hearing any price on something, especially when you have like this idea of what you think it would cost, and then when you actually hear the cost and you go, "Oh fuck, that is way more than what I was thinking." I've done that. Everybody's done that. Everybody's guilty of that. I think for me personally, when I hear about people wanting to, for me personally, when I talk to people about programs, and oh yeah, I would love to get into it. I just want to get like an idea of different workouts and whatnot for me.
Right.
When people start pitching me all the other stuff, I'm like, hey, I didn't need any of that. I don't need any of that whatsoever. So that's where I start to steer away from people and their prices and things like that. But like, if you are looking to get help from someone specifically, like that's what you want to do. You want to get help from someone. A price should not, I mean, depending on the price, shouldn't be the biggest thing that turns you away from it, especially if you are that serious about
A price you can afford.
Correct.
Yeah, and it's also depending on who you want to work with. I mean, like eventually down the road, my prices are going to raise because eventually my clientele is going to get stacked.
Right.
And I'm like, well, if you want to work with me, you gotta.
Dude, I used to
gotta
shoot
give a
fucking
You
shoot
gotta outbid
weddings.
whoever else
Yeah.
you're working with.
I used to shoot weddings for like, I think I shot an 8-hour wedding once for like $400. And in my head,
That's
thinking
crazy,
back on
right?
that, that's fucking batshit crazy.
What would
Because
you, if you're allowed to disclose, what would you shoot an 8-hour wedding for now?
now, 2,000, and that is still low end compared to some of the prices that I heard.
Yeah, it's the scaling of how we run our businesses is exactly the same.
Right.
We've become more experienced. We have more knowledge. We have a lot more time into our craft, and also we have people that we work with. If you want my time, you gotta have to spend the time.
Yeah, and
Yeah, you could turn that question around and ask the clientele and just be like, if you were doing what I was doing, how much money would you ask someone for?
that's a good thing to say, because
How much do you think your time would be worth?
Right.
when I think about prices, like especially with my prices, the two most absurd things that I had heard was, the second most absurd was $6,500 for 8 hours, and I was
Holy
just
shit.
like, holy fuck. And then I heard $5,000 for 4 hours, and I went, you want 10 grand a day for a wedding? Who are you? Like, what are you? I literally don't understand that, because you have to think about what these people are already paying for. And I mean, these are high-end clients that they're trying to go for. And
Right. They're not getting.
Well, yeah, if you're going to
You know-
shoot Gucci Man's wedding, then sure, get your fucking
Yeah,
10
of course,
Gs.
like you have to also, I wouldn't say adjust your prices to who you're talking to, but to some extent you have to do that. Like
you do.
my
Right.
prices are still, I'll talk to people and I'll be like, oh, okay, I'll get back to you. And I'll wait a little bit and I'll wait a little bit. And then once it gets closer to their date, or, before they find somebody else, I'll go, well, I do work with people on prices. Like I'm not going to just have that set price and tell you to go fuck yourself. Like I'll work with you if you can't afford it for some reason. That's
Right,
fine.
and
Most
there's
freelancers have
always-
a bargain,
Right. of
There's
course.
always leeway, right? I mean,
especially for someone who like say they like are dying to join your fitness program, but like they're a full-time student and they're only working part-time, and that's like then that extra chunk of time they want to devote to you, but
Right.
they're not going to be able to afford that. But you can tell that this person's
yeah,
different.
they're like
That
it's different.
they could definitely be someone who you would see great progress in, who could attract other clientele for you, and who would be a great person who would refer you to other people. Then it's like, all right, like looking past just the dollar sign, what else are you going to
can
get
they
out of
offer?
this?
Right.
Yeah.
No, 100%. And I actually kind of want to pick your brain about something because.
Yeah.
So you said you wouldn't, and I'm not trying to finagle
You're good.
my program on you. I'm just I want to get in your brain.
Yeah.
So you say you just want kind of like, I want new ideas and new workout things.
Yeah.
and things
Every
like
so
that.
often, like if I can't find anything off of YouTube, I'll just be like, well, I want to see what works for other people.
Right. So say we work together for a month.
Yeah.
Right. Like I comp you, like free of charge for a month, and you got pretty strong, stronger than whatever your baseline is now.
Right.
Right. That wouldn't like intrigue you at all or pique your interest to keep on going.
With you?
Yeah.
Oh no, it might, but honestly, if I can see it as, because I also have a fair amount of knowledge, not a good. No, I'm not talking like more
Not
than you,
professional amount.
right? And not professional, not even like I would maybe say like a novice. Well, I don't fucking know, whatever level you want to call it, but. Working out in high school, I didn't just like listen to what the coaches told us to. I asked why. I asked
Yeah.
specific muscle groups. I learned everything I could in football about what muscles did what and like why it's important. Kids would get tackled and their fucking heads would whip, and I'd be like, I don't want to break my neck, so give me a neck workout. Something that would actually strengthen the muscles around it and the shoulders, and I know how those things connect, and I get it, and I know what my body can do. When I was in my prime working out with our buddy Manny. Dude, I would do like 2-hour workouts, and at the end of it would still have energy because I knew what my body could do, and I knew like the certain extent. And I remember I'll look back on pictures and be like, God damn, I was in good shape and I felt good and I was eating good and I didn't, now I just lose the urge every so often. But the point being is that if you were to help me for a month, depending upon the amount of knowledge, where it was like, okay, month 2, I can teach you a lot more shit. Or you can just go do your own thing because I can't do like another free month. I would debate it in my head, but that's entirely
So it boils down to whether or not you feel like you could do it on your own.
correct. That's really all it is, because I have the willpower when I really want to do something to go and do it.
Right.
I mean, I'm getting back to editing videos. Like tomorrow, I may wake up and go running, but I'm definitely going to the gym tomorrow. Like
Right.
in my head, once I have it set, I'm gonna do it.
Right.
So it's just one of those things where
The reason why I ask is because people in Nick's position, where they're in fairly good shape and they have some fair decent amount of knowledge, they're actually my favorite to try to snag because they don't like need it, right? They don't need it. They want it. And I want to like my goal is I want to kind of take that want and focus it into a need and kind of
I know you're not saying this in this way, but in my head, it's like, I want to take that. I don't want to spend money and I need to spend money.
Yeah. because I like to figure out what makes people tick and what gets people excited.
Yeah.
So for me, I thought it was bodybuilding, right? Like just high volume, things like that, and just getting the blood in the muscle and like looking big. I don't really care what I look like. Like I look okay.
Yeah.
Like,
But you like the strength of it.
but like I'm all about like being strong.
Yeah.
And that's why in my current like state, like I'm at like 17% body fat at like 213 pounds. If I lost 10, 15 20 pounds, I could be like, close to between 12 and 15%. Will I look good? Fuck yeah, I will.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I look good now.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But will I look even better? Yeah.
Yeah.
But, and I have my own theory on like, gaining muscle in a deficit and shit like that. And that combats the status quo. But I'm using the body mass I have now to propel my strength forward to when I start competing competitively. When I do cut, I'll be leaner,
Right.
and then compete at a higher level. Anyways, what I was getting at is I like to see if like the strength aspect you like latch onto that,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, I like this, but like you may think that like, oh, I'll keep doing what he's telling me to do, but I know better. If you just keep doing what I'm telling you to do, indefinitely, you'll stall.
Right.
Because that's not how it works.
Right.
I mean, if everybody were to train linearly, people would be benching thousands of pounds.
Right.
And also if the purpose of a trainer was just to show you how to do it for a month, then you would only charge by the month.
Right.
You'd be like, all right, here's my month program.
Yeah.
If you buy 6 months worth, why are you buying 6 of them?
Yeah.
It's like a fucking car. You need it once.
Right.
I think I also run into this problem with working out and then also with other people telling me things that I need to do because of my bad knees. Like it literally
How are they bad?
They're bad.
Well, bad as in how?
Like
Be
I'm
specific,
pretty
please.
sure there's torn ligaments and shit in my knees. Like I can't. So on my right leg, I had torn, I believe, the meniscus. I tore something underneath my knee. Could barely like walk on it. Had to wear a knee brace. Went to physical therapy. They had to re-tear everything around it. So I mean, to the point where it was the very first time I've ever bit so hard in my finger I drew blood because I was like, oh, this motherfucker is. Because when I asked him after the second fucking visit, I said, what are you doing and why does it hurt? Because no one explained anything. He's like, we have to literally re-tear everything around it for it to rebuild itself. And now my right knee is strong again. I mean, it's not the strongest, but it can hold itself up. I can actually squat on this one leg. My left knee will just kind of like this one tore now too, because it eventually, it's not sympathetic. It became, what's the word?
It made up for the right knee when the right knee was out.
It depended on all the strength on the left leg, and it just tore. Like now it's at this point where I can get maybe halfway through. I can get maybe a fourth of the way if I were to do like a one leg squat, and I'll just fall over because there's so much excruciating pain that I can't go any farther, and then it will just slip out. Like my knees crack, and they just like, it's a terrible fucking situation.
Won't that just cycle to make your right knee more dependent, and then
correct. So I need to actually like go get this checked and go get it physically worked on by a doctor. But they told me at the time when this had happened, I think I was like 21 or 22. They said, we can't do anything, no type of surgery because you're too young and you're still in like the growing stages, and we don't want to stunt any type of, growth in the last few years.
We don't want to give Nick a limp.
So I have this. Okay, this is one thing I was actually talking to people I went to dinner with about. I weigh 100. I actually got up to 160, but I weighed like 155 for 6 years. I couldn't gain a fucking pound. I look the same structure as Caleb, but he's got 30 pounds on me. I can't gain weight for shit. And a lot of it's because I can't gain weight in my legs due to the fact that I can't do a lot of leg workouts because of my knees being bad. So I'm constantly at this like, I get the upper body strength.
Yeah.
I'll look fantastic from my waist up. And my legs don't like, I don't disregard them, but I can't do as much as I can upper body wise because my knees will start to give out.
So it's only when you squat.
It's not just squatting.
What do you extend your
even if it's
leg extensions?
Like the I don't even know if it's a knee workout or a thigh workout where you sit down and you have to like kick the weight up.
The quad workout.
Yes.
So the quad workout destroys my fucking knee. Squatting, even if it's the sitting squats, whatever the fuck those are, where it's like a decline or an incline type, anything like that. Even fucking.
What about running?
running hurts a shit ton, and I miss running a lot. That's actually why I stopped running, because I would start running, and by the end of it, my knee would swell up, and I couldn't walk on it the rest of the day. I'd have a limp. Like, my knees actually swell up, and it sucks. It fucking sucks, because I loved running since I was a kid. I mean, that was my favorite thing to do. It was my favorite workout. So I've been buying more comfortable shoes and trying to work on it. I actually bought running shoes, and I haven't gone running in them yet because I need to break them in. But I think they're finally broken in, and that's why I want to try tomorrow. But I know treadmills help, and I know there's ways to work around it, and obviously you can build around it. But to some extent, you just need to get them fixed.
Yeah, you're gonna just get your knee fixed.
Which sucks.
I mean, because what's happening there is you're limiting, primal movements.
Mm-hmm.
Squatting is a primal movement,
Mm-hmm.
and if you limit that, then you're kind of putting yourself at a disadvantage for the long haul.
Yeah.
I would recommend getting that, done as soon as humanly possible.
But your boy's insurance is trash. I mean, I would literally probably be paying out of my fucking ass to get my knee worked on. I mean, my insurance is horrendous.
Yeah.
It's bad. So I'll figure it out over time. And that's why I said I'm starting to I was getting into actually building the strength around the knee again. But again, only to some extent. And then eventually it just gives out.
Yeah. Yeah. For that, then we just do low loads, like lightweight. I'd probably only put you on the incline press, the leg press. And then box squats. Yeah. Box squats are your saving grace.
Okay, so in short, without going into too much detail on the knee again, played basketball with my brother, stepped the wrong way because I hadn't stretched before. Didn't think that knee was going to give out like that. It just 2 minutes into the fucking game, I stepped the wrong way and the knee was just like, oh, you can't even put pressure on it.
Yeah.
It felt like I was pinching a nerve in between my thigh and my calf. But when it's not in its worst position, I was squatting. I was doing the decline squats, right? Incline squats. What is it when you're laying back and pushing up?
Leg press.
Okay, so leg press, right? I was doing the leg press. I was doing all sorts of different leg workouts, and it was fine. So once the pain stops, I can actually start working with it again. But
yeah, but the whole because your knee's already bad and it needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
Like I said, the name of the game is working around the injury, not working against it, or with it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we ended up working together, it would only be box squats and incline leg press, high volume, low to moderate loads.
Let me get back into shape in the next month, at least a decent shape, so that I don't die. Because when I went and worked out with you that one time, that was fucking phenomenal. I left that place feeling like $100, just 100 though. No, I felt like a million bucks, dude. I was like, that was a hell of a fucking workout. Something I actually took that same set of how you were doing those workouts. It was
we did the pen lay row and the bench press that day.
Right, but what was how you do 3 workouts that you just
giant sets?
Okay. I was doing those for a while and I was fucking gaining ground fast.
Yeah.
It's impressive how much I learned from that one workout.
Because the human body is a lot much more capable of what people give it credit for.
Yeah.
They're so I'll give an example from yesterday. Yesterday I had a training session where I was doing 55% of my bench press to 65%, then 75% from 12 reps, 10 reps, 8 reps, AMRAP. But including that, so 55% of my max would set me at 155 pounds, I think. 155 pounds for the bench press for 12 reps. So before I did that, I did 155 pounds for a pen lay row. That's, and for people that don't know that, the bar is on the ground, weight is touching the ground, and then you're rowing from a dead stop all the way to your sternum and letting it drop down to the ground. And
you did how many?
At a dead stop. It doesn't help.
No, how many did you say?
12.
Okay.
So 12 for 155. Then immediately after, moved to the bench press, 12 for 155. Then I did dragon flags, which is a core exercise. And then after that, kind of some metabolic work on the chest, like flies, and then rest.
Yeah.
and just focus on catching my breath because it was a lot of volume. And that I still even do that for heavier sets.
Yeah.
Because
when you say a lot of volume, do you mean high rep?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because what's like rowing doesn't work your chest. You're not exerting any like muscle fibers or exerting your chest from rowing. You may feel exhausted because you're probably out of shape. Like I was feeling it, dude. I was rowing 12, then bench 12, and then like I was like I was huffing and puffing, and I was like, yeah, I haven't had like volume work like this in a while.
Yeah.
Because I've been tapering up to singles.
Yeah.
Over the past 12 weeks prior to that. But yeah, like not giant sets work your overall work capacity, and also you get shit done. People like to sit down for a minute between sets and fucking sit on their phones.
Yeah.
I'm not really about that.
Right.
And like I'm still gaining strength, not as quickly as I'd like to, because that just ends up happening. You have to be smarter and on how your training frequency and your exercise selections and things like that.
Yeah.
But I'm really confident about this next training cycle.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I work out in giant sets and just increases my overall work capacity. And if for some days I'm feeling like beat, and I won't feel bad not doing cardio because my entire like weightlifting session was like
high intensity.
It was cardiovascular in itself.
Right.
So I'll be all right.
No, it's impressive. What, you're gonna say something?
I was just saying it's cool that like you personally, Nick, can vouch for Jake's training and for his methods.
Oh yeah.
Rather
I mean,
than
even
just
the
being
fucking
like
stretching, I learned.
Well, yeah, rather than just like being like, oh no, yeah, like I know, like you talk about it a lot. I know that you like put your time in learning about it, and like I'm sure you like know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're straight up like, no, I remember like your one workout you did with me changed how I worked out.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And so like that's alone huge just for anyone like listening who's interested in Jake stuff.
That's good advertising.
It is.
You.
It's great because it's literally like the closest thing you can get to word of mouth without directly going to someone and tell them is you can be on a podcast and just like vouch for them personally.
Yeah. And that's why I was going to say it's impressive like how far you've come in the knowledge that you've gained and the progress that you've gained in your own body. It's just dope to see. Yeah,
it's fantastic. Like I used to be like so cocky about the way I looked.
Yeah.
And I had no right to be. I was such a fucking cocksucker, dude. Like I like walk around like, with my arms flared out and shit. Like I had big lats. I had no lats. What the hell? Like, walking around like I was a hotshot. My physique was fucking garbage.
Yeah.
I posted like, I guess you can call it a transformation photo.
The 3 or 4 that you posted up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I posted a picture of my back from 2017 to 2018 to 2019. From 2017 to 2018, there was little change.
Yeah.
But you can see from 2018 to 2019, it fucking blew up.
When you started buckling down into it.
Yeah, buckling down and really...
it is genuinely impressive how fucking far you've come and how goddamn large your chest is.
Yeah, that's, when I hear people say that, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Dude, straight up, no bullshit. And I said this to him before. He was at the beach. They all had gone with their group. And he was laying down with his right shoulder against the sand. And so his body was scrunched. Straight up looked like you had, without, huge boobs. It just looked like huge tits. I was like, dude,
man, this is fucking dope. I'm looking at I'm looking at Jake's Instagram posts, which anyone listening can go on our Instagram post with you in it and go to your Insta to see it. But that's nuts. Like you can see not only the definition and the muscle, but your overall body shape.
Yeah.
Changed into more of like that upside down Christmas tree.
Yeah. That's thank you.
You are an upside down Christmas tree.
I look at my back, I'm like, oh man, that's really impressive. But what really takes the cake out of those pictures are the shoulders. Is you can see how much the shoulders blew up. Literally, you can see in like when I'm posing in the back in the first picture, literally you can see my fucking arms like dip in.
Yeah.
Like there's no meat there. I mean, if you look at the today photo, like my fucking shoulders are capped.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy crap. And
Can't
I'm like,
scratch the back of my neck.
and I'm like, that's pretty cool. And I am nowhere near like anywhere like my
Your goal.
my goal or genetic potential for that matter.
Dude, when we were hanging out for that guys' night and we did that fucking video and all of us were pulling our shorts up really fucking high.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, that video was so great.
It was so much
I
fun.
loved that shit so much.
If you want to know what video we're talking about, sorry, I left my fucking phone. All the noises are going off.
It won't pick up. You're good.
It might.
When people are listening, they won't hear it.
Yeah, but that video, if you want to know what we're talking about, it's all over Twitter, and I think our buddy Casey posted it on.
Everyone retweeted. Manny
posted on Twitter.
Manny's
Manny
the one
posted
that
on
has the most
Twitter.
views on it.
Right, which is actually, I'm glad it did exactly what we wanted it to do.
Yeah.
But what I was getting at was when we all pulled our shorts up high, you pulled your shorts up about like maybe 3/4 of the way that they normally sit. And I was like, God damn, dude. Like those, like I thought Tub had honey hams. You got like 2 honey hams slammed together in those bitches, and it's just all muscle.
What was that fucking KFC sandwich that had no bread? It was just 2 fillets of chicken with like bacon and cheese in the middle of it.
Holy shit.
Your legs.
Yeah. Like, it's like I don't have like a lot of, like I still have fat. Now it kind of just like sits on my tummy.
Yeah.
But it's not a lot. It's like I said, like 5 to 10 pounds. And that's just there. It's like, that's where you like, you know, you can see my 6-pack without me, you know, having to flex.
Right.
Cause I can see my 6-pack, you know, if I flex. But like, I don't care. That's not important to me at the moment.
It's all strength.
It's all like strength based.
Yeah.
And like, again, and like I said, when I start to compete competitively, then I'll cut and like, yeah, I'll look really good. But
What body, when you compete, are you competing like bodybuilding as in physique or strength?
when I mean compete, I mean, as in powerlifting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I have no aspirations to do bodybuilding until I'm 35.
What's the ideal body fat percentage for competing? You said like what, 12%?
Oh, for like a powerlifter?
Yeah.
So
Or is there not really an ideal?
So if we're talking purely from like how much, like at what percentage can you perform the best at? In my opinion, I think it's like no lower than 10. I think optimally it's like 12.
That's when you're hitting physique.
Yeah. Like 12% is probably like, you're good. You don't need to lose any more weight. If I went down to 12%, I probably need to drop 30-ish pounds. So that would put me at like 180 something. So I have to be at the 185 class.
Yeah.
Which if I were to compete now at the 185 class, I would have a class 1 total. And it goes class 4, class 3, class 2, class 1, masters, elite. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes.
And if you were to go to 185 now, you'd be class 1, you said?
Yeah. Yeah, my total will be a class 1 total.
It's impressive.
Yeah, but I'm not really concerned with that at the moment. I'm just, I just want to get my deadlift. I want to get my deadlift to 500. I want to get my bench I want to get it closer to 300.
Right.
And I want to get my squat I don't know, man. Like my squat kind of tapers every now and then, and it's weird. I want to get my squat close to 500 as well.
Yeah.
If anything, I'm short selling myself on the deadlift, but I've been really careful with the deadlift lately. I've last time I tried to max out, my lower back kind of got compromised, so I've been like,
that's scary.
yeah, oh yeah, like literally, I'll feel it and I'll stop.
Yep. You should.
And I'll stop and I won't fight it anymore. I know a lot of people, they just keep on fighting it.
No.
And I'm like, no, I'm okay.
Especially
I'd rather,
in your 20s. No.
Yeah. I'd rather just keep on lifting for longevity. If anything, I really want my deadlift at like 550 to 600.
Yeah.
And I think I'll be okay with that.
Yeah.
Like if I can like cap out at a 600-pound deadlift,
It's fucking insane.
in in my lifetime, without me doing drugs, that would I'd be really happy with
That's
that.
like bucket list shit.
Yeah. And then if I've already made promises to myself, if I get to a 600-pound deadlift and like a 315 bench, like above 315 bench and a 550 squat without, performance enhancing drugs. And then maybe I'll go down the road. But as of right now, it's nowhere near on my mind.
So setting personal records and building your business are the important things right now.
Yeah, that is because right now that is what sets me up for the future.
Yeah.
Powerlifting itself there's no
Right.
there's no like future in that in terms of financial stability. If anything, me getting on the platform, doing well, and then say, hey, I'm a trainer, and people are like, okay, and sign up with me, then yeah. But those are just
more of
different,
like a passion.
Yeah, I just want to compete, and like whether I compete and my name gets recognized, that's cool. If not, that's cool too. I don't care. I just want to change lives.
Doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
And for other people, but obviously doing that one thing for yourself, that personal record.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm only wrapping this up because you both have to go to bed.
I also got to jerk off.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So glad we're ending it with
You're like
that.
a part of the program, actually.
Yeah, part of my life coaching process is we jerk off twice a day.
And females?
Females jerk off too. They flick the bean.
Okay, that's better. I was gonna say they don't.
Nick was bothered by your incorrect terminology.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, how dare you? It's masturbate. Everybody masturbates.
Everybody masturbates. The girls do that.
Oh,
There's your mukbang for you, fucking Nick. Real quick, I wanted to ask, since I brought it up and then it brought up the question in my own head. Do you have like a bucket list for your own career / personal fitness? Like, do you have like bucket list of, if I can hit this many clients in a week or a month, or if I can build my business to this point, or if I can lift this point, like you were saying, if you could get certain areas, then you would be
so
happy.
For a business perspective, I want to get to the point where like if I have a family, I don't have to worry about anything, like because I want to train people and make everyone like happy with themselves as possible, but I want to scale it to the point where someone from China is like, hey, I heard about you through Instagram or whatever. I want to get to that point.
International.
My dreams are that big for my business.
Would you like
to
want to
go
open up your
international.
own gym?
If I were to open up my own gym, it wouldn't be here. It wouldn't be in California.
Really?
Because it's very congested.
yeah.
High saturated market.
Yeah, LA has a lot of brick and mortar gyms, a lot of commercial gyms. I would be competing with Crunch,
Gold's Gym.
Gold's, and more importantly, what's that fucking bougie one?
24.
Equinox.
No,
I was going to say it starts with an E.
Yeah, Equinox. And then on top of that, all the other brick and mortar places.
What do you mean by brick and mortar?
That like mom and pop. Like,
Gotcha. Yeah.
Place like the gym I work at is a brick and mortar gym.
Gotcha.
Shout out. If you guys are not going to Lock It Out Barbell, you need to go to Lock It Out Barbell.
Is that where? That's where you work, right?
Yeah, that's where I work.
Yeah.
You're like, no, this is just another place that actually really like fuck my work.
The gym opens at 4 a.m. and I'm there from 4 a.m. to 8:30. So if you want to get a day pass, hit me up.
I was actually going to say, just start plugging in all your stuff right now. Cause
Yeah. Also follow me at Instagram, jqueen_fitness. And don't forget to follow the podcast, Alpha Beta Kappa Podcast. The Twitter for that is ABK_pod. And those are all my plugins.
Nice. Dude, thank you. Did you have anything else to finish?
No, I mean, do you have any other finished bucket list areas that you know of, or is it as you go?
Like I made that remark. I wouldn't want to do bodybuilding until I was 35.
Mhm.
That is actually a serious
Bucket
thing.
list.
Yeah,
That's
I
dope.
would want to do a bodybuilding show.
I know
Once.
you anywhere near 10% body fat would be terrifying.
Dude, I think about it all the time.
You would scare the fuck out of anyone that you just wanted to lower your eyebrows at a little bit.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, like that'd be really cool. Like
Mhm.
by that time, I'm 35, like closer to 40, just kind of just do it just for the shits and giggles.
Dude, total tangent. It won't be long. My fucking buddy that has done the same thing, personal training, like his whole life. It's like fucking almost 60 and still so ripped. And it's like, how do you look like that? You look like Master Roshi from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
when he gets
It's
big.
actually kinda
crazy.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's bald. He has a beard.
Yeah.
And he's shredded. And
Yeah, he just probably suffers beautifully.
yeah, literally. And it's like, it's just so crazy that you forget that people can look like that at that age.
Yeah,
And so, like, I have no doubt you'll be one of those people.
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, thank you. I know it was like a you don't know that it was like a last minute thing, but it was a
Oh,
last minute
dude,
thing, and I appreciate
yeah,
you being on
of
because it
course,
was
anytime.
really fucking fun, and there's a ass ton of information in there for people. So
Of course, yeah.
I know there's so much other shit that you gotta do.
One disclaimer before we truly get off. Like,
yeah,
if you guys made it this far to my to our tangents and things like me talking about everything, look, just find something for you and stick to it. Lose the weight. Find somebody to help you. I'm just expressing my professional and personal opinion. The goal is just, to get healthy. Just
Right.
get healthy. I have my opinions, you have yours. I'm not here to, be an asshole. I'm just, expressing what I feel like is the ultimate goal to being a healthier, more
hopefully
functional
people get this
individual.
far into the podcast before
Hopefully.
they come and
They're
attack
like, man,
you.
this guy's a fucking cocksucker.
Of course, it's at
They
the
heard
very ending.
masturbate and they were like, out.
Okay, so that was episode 37.
Yeah, 37.
37, nice guys.
37, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess we'll just leave it there, and we will see you next week with a guest that we hope
We fucking hope we can get Hayden on. We have no idea.
that'll be good.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Later.